This just in, guys, a brand new Can-Am Defender 6x6. I'm very excited about this machine. We're going to feature it not only on TFL Off-Road right here, but also on TFL Truck with a few comparisons we're doing, comparing it to a truck. But this is one of the most capable machines that I've ever been around. So in this video, I'm going to show you what we have. It just recently arrived, and what it is Defender is a utility machine from Can-Am. And as you can see here, it's a 3-person machine with true 6-wheel drive capability. So let me start in the back here. So if you see this bed, this is actually, I'm really excited. This is 6 feet long by 4.5 feet wide. So you may know that most pickup trucks, full-sizers even, have sometimes a 5.5 foot bed. This is a 6. It's also about the same size lengthwise as like a long bed Toyota Tacoma or a Ford Ranger. Actually, I'm sorry, not a Ford Ranger. Ford Ranger doesn't offer that. I mean a Chevy Colorado. And also, and I cannot show that to you right now, these sides of the bed are removable. If you can see this cut line, so you can kind of make it into a flat bed. But you pop this lever to reveal a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, you can see this bed is built in a very robust way. There's a sticker on it that says 1,700 pounds of payload. Yes, 1,700 pounds of payload. That's more than most 4-wheel drive pickup trucks on sale. You know, not heavy duty trucks, but full size and mid-size trucks. But if you can see right here, this is where basically a 4-wheel drive Defender would be or would end. Pretty much. And then they attach this subframe to it with true 6x6 capabilities. So basically you can see there's another differential there, suspension, shocks, everything. And what do you need this for? Well, basically this is very useful for two things: to carry heavy loads on your farm or a ranch or your business, and also go in some places that a normal 4-wheel drive cannot. And why is that? It's because the length of this machine is actually so long that you can span certain gaps. So if you can imagine, like there's a ditch or something you're trying to cross, this machine wheelbase is so big that you can actually kind of skim over the top of it, where a 4-wheel drive vehicle would have to go in and out. So lots of capability. It's actually always four-wheel drive, so 4x6. Because in a normal mode, the rear tires are powering this thing. Let's take a quick look at the engine. It's warm, nice and warm. This is a Rotax engine, twin cylinder, 82 horsepower and 69 pound-feet of torque. You can see the transmission down here. Belt driven, there's, everything is easy to reach. There's your muffler, there's your fuel tank. Just over 10 gallons of total capacity, which I'm happy to know that they have a really large capacity fuel tank for a machine like this. And you can also see lots of air intakes. So for example, there's a kind of a breather tube up here. It's really built to go over some marshy and wet terrain. You can see the air filter is way up high. So a lot of these components are actually built to be submerged or partially submerged. Obviously, you don't want to totally kill this machine. And Defender for 2020 and 2021, they have something called the Pro. So if you take a wider look here, or maybe from the other side, they also have a 4-wheel drive with the same bed. They call it the Defender Pro. So they're trying to reuse some of the components and actually build a 6x6 or also a 4-wheel drive with a similar length. The front end has been updated in 2020. So of course you got 4 lights, pretty good visibility. This one does not have a full cab or a heater or kind of a HVAC system. But what it does have is, of course, a winch. This is a 4,500 pound winch. And by the way, this machine can also tow up to about 3,000 pounds. So it's very work ready, as you can tell. Let me show you on the inside really quick. So you open these nets. Obviously this one doesn't have a roof or a windshield, But you have a really kind of sturdy bar for your passengers. So if your passengers are riding along with you, like I said, you can have up to 3 people. This is pretty neat. This is kind of a toolbox that you can remove. This is a glove box, but also can be a small toolbox if you want to take it with you. Here, of course, we have a couple of tools, owner's manual, and even some goggles, as you can see here. So actually a tire patch kit, which is really, really cool. Speaking of tires, before I get to the driver controls on the other side, let's look at the tires really quick. These are 27-inch Maxxis Bighorn 2.0s. As you can see, they have big lugs for kind of marshy terrains. Can be used, of course, on rocky terrains and a variety of different terrains. There you have it. So this is not supposed to be a performance machine, obviously, 82 horsepower. It's kind of in line with some other competitors like Polaris with their Rangers. But currently Polaris does not build a 6x6 Ranger. So this is quite unique in the segment. You might also think of like John Deere, for example, for a 6x6 machine. But some of those machines are smaller and don't have the capability of this one. So this is kind of unique. Here's how you fill up. It's on the passenger side, like I showed you before. Here's another look at the tires. So 27-inch tires across the board. I understand you can also put 30s on there. So optional wheels without any suspension modifications. And we'll be testing it thoroughly. There's not a ton of articulation in the rear. So as far as wheels going up and down, but like I said, this machine is so wide, so long that it can crest over certain obstacles. Jump in the passenger seat. I want to show you some of the driver stuff. Okay, so it's very simple in this one. There's a cubby hole for storage, a 12 volt right here. Then there's a winch controller. You can kind of hear it. This is basically 4-wheel drive because we got 2 axles in the back. Or you can flip it forward for true 6x6 capability. You got your light control on the left right here, and here's your gauge cluster, which shows you a lot of different information. Let me actually start this. You can kind of tell that the engine just starts very easily and it's kind of quiet. This is not supposed to be like a rowdy turbocharged machine, with lots of power. It's just supposed to be a work vehicle that can help you. I like how smoothly it idles, first of all. So then, of course, you have reverse, neutral, high gear, and low gear. So if you're actually crawling, you would put it all the way down into low transmission gear, and then high gear for regular driving. Of course, reverse and park. That's pretty easy. You also have some explanations here for how to control it. Another cubby hole up here, cup holders, and you could select through different information here in the screen. You can see engine hours, time, mileage, battery voltage. You can kind of see several different types of information, RPM. I like that Rotax engine, actually. Can-Am does a good job. These buttons are not, they don't do anything basically right here. So that's pretty neat. So we'll have this machine also, like I said, in a couple of weeks on TFL Truck channel. We'll be testing it throughout. And you're probably wondering about price. So let's get out and I'll kind of tell you about that. As you probably know, these 4-wheel drive and side-by-sides are getting quite expensive with more features you put on them. This 6x6 Defender has a starting price of around $18,400 or $18,600, so about 19 grand. Of course, you can raise that price further with options. There is an additional model also that's a little bit above this. Also, this base model is available in a couple colors, white, as you see here, and also camo for hunting. Obviously, this could also be a really great hunting rig because you can bring a lot with you or out of your hunting spot. And so for about 19 grand, you're getting all this. Of course, you can add options, like I said, kind of cabin closures, windshield, roof, additional features. So you can push this machine into the $20,000 range pretty easily. But I think it's actually relatively affordable for what it gives you. You got towing. Let me show you the hitch really quick. You got towing, you got payload, you got versatility of the bed. Got a nice tailgate with about 250-pound capacity just on the tailgate. And of course, lights throughout, front and back. And of course, the hitch down here with chain hookups if you want to hook up chains. So yeah, and it actually tells you everything here. 3,000-pound towing capacity. Like I said, about 17 total payload, 1,700 pounds. Yeah, it's a good little truck. So thank you. And of course, come back to TFL Offroad and TFLtruck.com for a lot more with this Defender.